Hey everyone, my name is Tyler Sandretto. I'm a partner with Midwest Accounting and Tax. As part of our outreach into YouTube, one of the things that we wanted to touch upon is giving just some basic education courses to those that have any thoughts of wanting to start their own small business and what steps they should take. Um, Again, we get a lot of consults from folks who are just in the infancy stage of what they're doing. And so we want to make sure that we're giving them the right information, the right advice, and giving them a little bit of education along the way. In this video, we're just going to cover just some of the basic high-level topics of, what you should be doing whenever you have the vision and the dream, and then we'll break down in some further videos a little bit deeper into the topics. If you haven't watched the first video released, I would ask please go back and watch it. It's a real short one. It talks a little bit about us and our company. Again, my name's Tyler. I'm a CPA. My partner's Bree. Bree and I, outside of having 30 years of combined professional experience, we've got over 25 years of friendship experience with one another. We're small town Illinois, born and raised. We're very much looking forward to having this firm and watching it grow. We've already said that, hey, we're not into it to work with big corporations that are just trying to get their stock price up, or billionaires trying to, game the IRS, or, we want to work with the everyday individuals that live and work in the communities that we serve. And, again, they're just trying to make sure they're doing the right things to stay compliant. They're getting their dreams to grow, and, they're just enjoying some of the luxuries of life that they work so hard to get. So far, it's who we've been able to attract and who we've been able to work with, and that's really what we want to continue to do. Quick disclaimer about some of these videos. Again, these are just general education purpose. There's no special attorney-client, CPA-client privilege. This isn't Suits. I'm not Harvey Specter. I wish I had like his hair, but you know what? Outside of that, that's about as close as I think you're going to get to Suits in some of these videos. Is just me talking about how I want his hair, but that's okay. But again, if you have any decisions that you need to make, feel free to reach out to us for anything accounting related matter, or if you have tax advice you need, again, reach out to us there. Anything from the legal side, always start with a licensed attorney. So I know this is extremely basic. I think this covers so many different industries, but we get asked a lot, like, hey, what do you suggest where I start? Always, I think these are just good 4 basic items. Obviously, number one is you got to come up with a name, and then you have to set up what is your organizational liability structure. So, you're becoming your business. Your business is you. There's a lot of risk out there, especially in today's world. So, you need to make sure you're taking the right steps to, again, have a brand that you're trying to promote, but make sure you're doing whatever you can to protect that brand, protect you as a person, and protect your family. Number 2, always probably the next most important when it comes to the cash handling, is a bank account. You need to have your own bank account where you keep your money for your personal items and your personal expenses. And then your business needs that same treatment. Your business items, your business expenses, the money you bring in, all needs to be kept separate. We'll really get into why that's important in a later video. But I always tell people that's probably next on the to-do list. Number 3, the fun topic of insurance. Because who doesn't love to talk insurance? Protection is super important. We have to have insurance for everything these days. You talk about, the house insurance is going up, the car insurance is going up, the cost of healthcare is up. And now, it's like, hey, I got to go out and get pet insurance because, as the world grows with our fur children, they need to be protected too. And beyond all those things, your business has protections and needs within it as well. Last and certainly very not least, accounting and taxes. Give the old cliche of one of our founding fathers, and Ben Franklin. He's got the timeless quote, "Nothing is certain in life but death and taxes." And we are going to tell you right now, because we've seen it before, don't let taxes become the death of your business. So the business name and limited liability. Your business, what you want to do, but I can tell you one of the things that I feel like even we struggled with is just coming up with a name. When kind of looking up like how difficult is that, the statistics are mind-boggling. It is not as easy to just come up with a name. You can have the idea, you can come up with so many different, great ways you want to grow, but man, if you don't find the name of the brand you want, that becomes difficult all in itself. And we always say from there, you need to make sure that you're checking with your state and looking what limited liability structures that they have, whether it's a partnership or a limited liability company, or, there's the what they call the corporate liability protections. There's a lot of different types of structures out there to protect your business and protect you. Again, something we'll get to in a little bit of a later video, because it's kind of a big topic all on its own, but still one we stress a lot. So your bank account. If this isn't number two, you need to make it. You need to make it your number two. You wouldn't want to commingle your bank account with just anybody off the street. If you got a big one though, and you want to mingle it with me, give me a call. Contact will be at the end of this, but that's okay. You need to keep your personal money as your personal money, and then keep your business's money your business's money. That's going to kind of come into play whenever we talk about limited liability setup in a later video. Insurance. Again, whether you're covering your personal liability, you're looking at medical for yourself and your employees, workers' compensation, which could be required depending on the industry you're in. You have buildings, you have vehicles you use in the line of the work. Protection is crucial. Again, insurance is just one of those things that, you hate to pay it, but when you need it, you'll be glad you have it. So again, after getting the name and your liability structure in place, and then you move on to the bank, always look into the insurances that you need to help cover yourself, cover your family, cover your business, cover your employees. Again, just one of those things that, it's very, very important, especially as you make that dream come to life. Last but not least, accounting and taxes. Starting out with solid bookkeeping, it creates a solid foundation for keeping tabs on the pulse of your business. Most people say we only do really bookkeeping for tax purposes. That is a huge byproduct, but it is not the main goal. If you don't know how your business is performing, then how do you know where you stand? How do you know if you need to raise prices? How do you know if you need to expand? Or how do you know if you can hire? Or how do you know if you can pay yourself? Again, accounting and bookkeeping provides so much of a great benefit. And even if you think you're doing it yourself and you're having a DIY, if you're not an accountant or you're not taking the time to learn basic bookkeeping and what it is, you could be doing yourself a disservice. Again, we have some clients that are, they're very good with spreadsheets, but then by the time you start breaking down and start asking questions, you'd be surprised that, boy, I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer that. I'm actually not quite sure where that came from. And really that system falls apart very quickly. But again, tax preparation and planning, your business is going to grow. If your business, makes any sort of income, Uncle Sam, the state governments, the local governments, they're all going to want their piece. Having a trusted preparer and someone to help you with the planning can go so far. And that all starts with having a solid foundation in bookkeeping. Of course, to come to how Midwest Accounting and Tax can help, again, kind of what this whole video is starting about. We have business startup and growth guidance. Again, we can give you ideas how to best structure what you can do. We can even help do limited liability company filings, depending on what the proper structure is. And then any sort of other administrative items we may be able to assist with along the way. The accounting and bookkeeping is the big one where we can help. We are heavy users in QuickBooks Online. We can do your setup. We can help train you. Again, Intuit, who owns QuickBooks, can also provide some of that, but we can really be your firsthand resource for anything that you might need. Again, we offer everything from full service bookkeeping, where we give you month-end reporting. We give you insights into what your business is doing. We can provide some of the, hey, here's some things you need to look out for, or, again, ask some very important questions. And you know what? Even if you've already started your business and you're a little behind, reach out. We can still help get you caught up. We can help you get your books cleaned up and help you get on the right path going forward. And then again, tax preparation. We offer tax preparations to individuals who may not have their own business, who just work their tail off 9 to 5 and they get a W-2 at the end of the year. We also offer it for small businesses, along kind of hand in hand with our bookkeeping services. And then we can also provide certain tax guidance and setup. Again, there's certain ways you can make tax elections that can help you save a good amount in your taxes if it's right for you. Again, something we'll talk about a little bit later. Some of the things we can't do: we can't serve as a registered agent. When we talk about like what a limited liability company is, we'll get into what a registered agent is. We can't provide investment advice. Believe it or not, so many people think, oh, you're an accountant or you're a bookkeeper. Oh, how should I invest? Believe it or not, that is completely separate. There's licensed individuals that are far more qualified. Even our own money, we trust to somebody else. We're really good with the numbers. Investing is not so much our thing. We don't represent tax cases in front of the IRS, even though I'm a CPA and have the right to do so. Don't have the bandwidth or the experience to do so. I know I'm licked on the things that I'm not good at, but we will be able to help partner maybe and get you in the right direction on some, if that needs to be something you need to have looked at. Can't provide any form of insurance coverage support. Again, not licensed to do so, but again, we can always get you in that right direction of someone who can. We can't do a lot of the complex long-term tax strategies. I know there's some out there that'll be kind of fly by night. For $200 a month, we'll figure out how to save you $1 billion in taxes. And those aren't the folks you need to go with either. But if you feel like you're in a more complex situation, we absolutely can get you with someone who can better understand your situation, your future, and get you in a most optimal format. And then there's just certain tax returns we don't deal with. I'm not, at this point in time, we're not offering any sort of service for nonprofits, not offering anything in the way for states. So really, those are probably two major ones that we're not looking to service. But again, we don't have somebody, or if we don't have somebody on staff that can do it, if one of us as the partners aren't able to do it, we have a referral and a partner network, and we have recommendations. We can get you out to where you need to be to make sure that your needs are met. Again, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Feel free to reach out to us. All of our contact information is here. And look forward to seeing you in the next one.